Oh, he is getting the raunchy stuff.
Right, he is getting raunchy stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Dressing for the weathers, especially the changing weathers. Yeah, the ones that I can really just smear with paint.
You know, scoop around the canals because it's nice
Maria.
on there.
So how are you, and are you cooking away? Are you chefing?
Getting out of shape.
Oh, go. That's great. So how are you chefing? Where are you chefing?
Yeah.
At Michael's?
No.
No, long ago.
No, so like almost 1 year.
Where are you?
I'm just doing very good.
Oh, good. Oh, good to know. Well, it's
Running cemetery.
Gregory in his martial arts studio. I'm just adding medium here. First, then I'm going to put up.
All pops out so much more now. It's wonderful. It just glows. Funny year.
Yeah. 21 years. This one?
No. Steve's back over here.
Do you remember the
The what?
10 who were arrested?
No, I wasn't here when that happened. No, but she would know who the other people are.
She isn't here, though. She's
I know, but I've got her number in New Mexico.
you?
And that would be That's Elizabeth. See, they used to have like a little goatee on them. Maybe they'll put that. Yeah, a little goatee at the time. The neighborhood, there was some place that's The next morning, the same people who had tried to erase the mural came back and covered it with oil-based paint. And that time it was much harder to clean off. And it was around dawn, and as the sun was coming up, it was all drying. So we were racing against time to get the oil base off before it completely adhered to the thing and ruined it. But there was a real strong involvement all over Venice. People who felt an ownership in the mural that wanted to sort of preserve it. And it was mostly people that were committed to keeping this a mixed neighborhood of old people and young people and interracial that could live together in a kind of a harmonious and creative kind of way that didn't exist in a lot of other places. And then there was this competition with this new group of people coming in who felt that they had spent a lot of money to buy into the canals here, and that the place belonged to people with the money to buy in. That's why they wanted to get rid of the mural, because it represented low-income people in a more diverse community.
One, no motors are allowed by navigable laws worldwide in the wetlands. And of course, the city has allowed Murray or whoever to have a gasoline-powered engine on what is now the paddle cat, but the guys who were hired by the city to maintain the canal, so to speak, with the tidal flows and the gates, putter around it, which is totally against the EPA and everything else that we've fought for. And then there are those people that have built recently, and they're making them into like little houses, permanent structure docks. It's waiting. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put some dogs. I don't know where they're going some dogs. This time.
Just say, where's Cindy Wolf these days?
Yes, and I know I kept saying she's around.
I'm going to start to cry.
I brought her down, Mary Jane.
Catherine! Oh,
I figured I'd call her up and I said, let's go see if they're still down there.
No, I'm serious. You need to help them.
No, we're just
Say that.
Incroyable.
Yeah.
C'est Catherine. La sœur de Martine. Catherine Demange. Cindy Wolf, who's in the JAYA.
I didn't know this was happening. Someone told me I couldn't believe it.
I called her up. I said, we gotta get down
God,
there.
we're in the 90s now.
When I first started, who should come across the street? Judith Foster.
The first
Happened
day.
to be
the
in
first
town.
day.
That used to live up by
Who worked every day with me 20 years ago.
Judy Short with the
Yes,
blonde.
yes.
She
She
happened to
doesn't
be.
live in Venice.
No, but she was here for a month.
She was
She
here.
arrived,
She just
actually.
happened to be here.
That is such a trip.
So Don called her, and she came and helped me till she went up north.
Yes.
And then Mary Jane appeared.
Oh my
I appeared on the
God!
first
Shit.
And then I had an assistant in the beginning that did all the hard.
Oh God!
Like
if I
all
could,
the,
I would have
all the big
gladly
roller
helped.
stuff.
Isn't this?
Damn.
Well, I didn't even know where you were.
We couldn't.
Well,
Nobody could
I'll
find
come
it.
and help. And
Katrine knew.
We're gonna
Not carry the ladders away.
We're gonna have a delegation in March.
Oh my God!
So leave your.
Oh,
I have a tablet. Leave your phone number.
I will.
So I got your, I got your
Yeah.
message,
Do you have
Mary
it with
Jane,
you
but-
She
here?
has a tablet.
Yeah, it would be great.
So
I
what's
have
the
to-
film about? I know you. You're a long time Venice person.
I have to keep changing.
Or I don't know you, but
Well,
I'll just get a cheese. You
No,
cheese
but I
sticks.
can, but,
If you wish to make one, but don't do it. There's gonna be.
God, it's so bright. I mean, the colors are much brighter than the originals, right? I mean, very.
Oh no, I'm keeping it all the same.
Or is it? It looks very, very brilliant.
it's much more intense in detail.
I'm gonna make it.
Come on, Cindy. You don't remember the 15 minutes or so of hearings that I ran on this? Well, you were 25 years younger than the rest of us.
Right now, I can't even remember my bloody address. Let's see, Sunset Ave. Now, don't sell this to any.
She was part of JAYA.
Yeah.
She helped. I think you helped paint, or you did something.
I did the leaves. I couldn't, not every single one.
She did some leaves.
I was.
Right? She
I
did
did
some leaves.
thousands of leaves. Millions of leaves. Okay.
Oh, good. That's
Should
all
I
we
take
need.
this around to the?
No, but you can take a sheet of paper to anybody and have them sign it. Not only does she not remember the 60s, she does not even remember the symbol.
I never had that outfit on. That's a figment of Emma's imagination, believe me.
Don't you know it?
I had
Yeah.
bimbo overalls on it.
Let's see, who is this pen?
That's
that's
part of keep it in case you need another. So at least you play the flute? I don't do any of that stuff anymore.
Does she even remember playing the flute?
No, I do. In fact, when I saw Joya, she said, "Oh, bring your flute to
Oh,
the
yeah,
party,"
yeah.
and it was like my flute.
Did you bring the flute? I didn't remember.
I haven't played the flute since this picture.
But do you still live here?
Yeah, I still live here. Oh yeah. Where else?
Like
I don't fit in anywhere else. I might as well stay.
Maybe on the bottom.
What about...
November 24th.
Really?
I remember because two best friends died in 3 days. And I could not go to her memorial because it was the same day as the other one here, and it was huge. I couldn't be in
85? That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, so she passed away. She had a great husband who was younger than she, and who she said when she met Anna, she said, "This is the woman you must marry next." And they have adopted 2 children, by the way. They have a child that they spent years and years to get, who is part, that half of, I guess, Hopi Indian. And then they just adopted with a huge saga, a little girl who was 2.5 from China. I went to China and got her. Marina Pearl, and Kyrie Maria is the first daughter, who's heaven. I haven't met Marina Pearl, I've only seen a picture. So, and I went after though to help Frank deal with where they were living and to take care of the grave and the tree that's in the garden, stuff that was planted in the desert for Aroni. So hopefully her soul is at peace. I pray. So let me just, so that's all I know. We were just talking about Gilles. I did a lot for him afterwards, but kind of just stopped writing and calling or responding, and I don't know exactly where he is.
Like 15 years. Well, I'm in the ghetto now. I don't get into this area much anymore.
In the jungle.
I can't get out. I have to stay in my house. I can't leave.
Look at a nice friend.
So what are you guys doing? Are you in film school or something? My address is on that tab there if you need me for any
All right.
lead roles without a lot of lines. Or I can, you know.
Have to go forward, enjoy.
Yeah.
No income. But here we are.
Doing
The same old.
sort of, yeah. No, the gray
Their
clouds.
glasses. You have the same glasses.
Catherine is our famous chef.
Very
Catherine is the
famous.
sister of Martine, who lived here first before she. And from France, of course. And
That's a
she's
lot of hair.
famous. To die for. The food is like, you have to eat it. Mange, mange, mange.
Tell people need parties, they do parties.
Yes, I know. I'm going to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, come over here. And then you can be on camera.
Well, that would be
You
about
was in
right.
at the time? Did you guys know each other in the...
What year was this? 72? No, we weren't.
No.
No. Oh, this is neat.
The 16th of your
That's for here, for this thing?
There's a dedicated. Watch the organize.
Watching these papers.
Well, I'll write to Sheila and tell her.
I think Judy Foster.
Is Judy
Yes, we
Foster,
painted
does
the
she
original
still
one
live
21 and a half years ago.
This is the canal.
Oh, what's happening up there? Is the guy up there with the...
No, that's
Every canal is unique. It's like
If you would like to sign up for the statement, you may.
The statement is?
The statement is we fully support the uncensored restoration of the JAYA mural. There were few complaints in 75 and the same 4 people who complained.
Same 4 people.
Same 4 people.
Where do we find these idiots on
Thousands
her?
of people.
Where do we
many
find
of them.
idiots on her?
Oh, so hard to find. You have to look so far. Down the block.
No, no.
Well, you never know when to start exactly. It's sort of, I think.
It just means appreciation of appreciation.
What is it? Wait a second. Dad, what do I do?
Just put your name. Just go ditto ditto. Ditto.
Ditto, and then you can put.
Thank you, thank you.
How could you not be so? Group or individuals or?
Students were part of a group, but there's this organization out on Venice Boulevard called Spark, which is Social and
Free
Public Art
artists.
Resource Center, and it may be the largest mural center in the nation.
Oh.
And they have slides and books.
Bye!
Is this a labor of love or is this?
Labor of love. Please, come on. We know that Los Angeles and the state. She got a stipend to mix the paints, but she's free. So.
What do we call a stipend?
On this event,
Right.
she got about $1,200. Well, to mix all.
Very stipend.
Yeah, it is a stipend. I mean,
Considering how many hours do you have to do this?
to match the paint 2 years ago. I mean, come on. Just to do that alone is
I
like
know.
ridiculous. It's like matching the colors in a shirt
Right.
when you don't have the same dyes.
Right. And the owner of the store, he gratefully.
Yes, that's why we
Or she,
do
or
it.
they, or-
Former owner said we couldn't. Great consent. He was wonderful to work with. Gregory Babel, who runs a martial arts studio and son.
Martial arts studio.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that keeps it in good repair. But,
So that's why we were able to do it finally.
well, this is wonderful.
It is
There's
wonderful.
not enough of this.
Well, Emily is the designer of this, and it's with her. I mean, I can paint to a certain extent, or draw, but she's the true painter, and she really did some fabulous. This was designed for the community with all their input. There were 15 months of hearings before this was done.
15 months of hearings in order to do a work of art.
Right.
How ludicrous.
We had a guy partying getting drunk falling off the bridge.
Right.
But in the 20-year interim, there was a developer who painted this wall out without asking permission,
Right.
and the community came out and washed it off 2 days in a row. First day was water-based paint. The community came out and wiped it off. Second day came with oil-based paint and put ski masks on his workers and had a police escort and painted out in oil-based paint. And the community came out and washed that off. Now this guy was several years ago building a building in Texas, and he got electrocuted.
The guy that washed it out, or
Yeah,
the
that
guy?
developer. So we put him falling off the bridge with a bolt of lightning.
So it has a meaning.
It has a meaning.
And the golf cart?
That was old Jack. He used to go around the canals in his little cart and feed the pigeons because he couldn't walk. He had a little electric
Who
cart.
maintains the canals today?
The city.
They're part of the city of Los Angeles filled in most of the canals. There used to be about 18 miles of
Right,
canals.
right.
So
In their wisdom, right?
and
Again.
in the state of the state, and so they are responsible for maintaining them,
The remaining.
the remaining canals. Since the city of Venice joined the city of Los Angeles in October 1925.
Not rich.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I wish you well.
There will be a dedication, we hope in March. So look in the newspapers. A public dedication, like there was in 75.
Okay, thank you very much.
Not pay me to do, that's why I guess I'm doing it for free again. The pro bono life, as we say, right? Now it is. C'est la vie pour nous. Absolument. And I have to say, thank God I don't know how to spell anymore. But I only know how to pronounce things. That's the way I can figure out how to spell them. Because it just gets crazy on the wall. Okay, cultural affair.
See you there.
Let's go this way. I like this. Let's go. Me and Grandpa touch it. This
I'm not on camera.
No, because my battery just went.
Lost it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Draw on the wall. Here.
Hey Rod, I want to shoot something too.
Mary Jane, I think we gotta do cab red light.
Long chronology.
more
Dry, let's see.
Dries darker than it looks.
Dries like that.
That's good. Right there. Just that's good.
The one?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so. Stand up and see the thing. I think it's just more will make it clutter.
It hit a bump in the wall and went.
Do you want to go over the exclamation point again to have it heavier or not? In pigment.
I wanted to look more sprayed.
Right. That's how it kind of was.
I know. I always thought it should be heavy.
Looking good.
Thank you.
I think that's better.
Great. I do too on the stop.
It needs that tagger sweep. What are you putting that on the wall for?
I think I'll go in until dawn.
It's a circle with an N around it.
You can just put a cross there too for men.
Ah, cool.
Looks like that.
Yeah.
It stands for nomad. Don't take me, please.
Well,
But it's
this is has
like
has historical.
it means moving into abandoned buildings and
Yeah.
using them instead of just wasting space.
Just like what
Houses
this picture is
are
right here.
homes.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
That's what it
being.
does in a house.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's what this means.
Outfit City on 9th Street, like right past
Think you'll use it?
between,
You think you'll use it?
Well, I can't really because this is a restoration of a thing done 20 years ago. so it's not conducive to today. But it's an interesting idea. The next one maybe I'll put in. Thank you for telling me.
What exactly historical event is this right here?
And it was about how the sterile white marina came and tried to take away our colorful life in the canals. And the Metro Squad was very heavy in the community at that time. And the condition from the community was that we put this on the wall is that we retain Stop the Pig. Because that's what was on the wall originally.
Yeah.
Stop the Pig, protect and serve. They said Stop the Pig had to be on the mural. They wouldn't. Okay.
Pig meaning cops?
Yes. But some people feel pig means developers and greed.
Just fucking greed.
Just greed.
Yeah. It is greed.
Just great.
So they do make wonderful pets, pigs.
Yeah. They're smart too.
They're very smart. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, how's it look?
Fabulous.
Now, will you come here, Rob? Will you shoot a snapshot of Ed and I with this? C'est la vie.
We got to get the video of the
Suck it in there,
snapshot
James.
post.
Yes, we have to be. We have on the painting wind clothes.
You're covering over the pig. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
that's it. So, on.
Are you ready?
Nous sommes prêts.
I'll get it.
Maintenant.
Oh,
Okay.
good wait.
Oh, okay.
Is the on switch on?
Un, deux, trois.
Stop
the pig! And here comes Don, who's helped do that for all these decades. Come on. Get over.
Welcome to Venice. The new age is dawning. Yeah.
So how's it look? Do you need more drips?
It looks good. It's history,
That's right, it is.
you know? They don't have anything to fear anymore. We're all gone almost.
Right. Or either dead or gone.
Yeah.
That's,
Fighting amongst me,
yeah.
you know, and us.
So where's the champagne?
It's right here, and I brought it out.
Oh,
I went in like
so I wasn't.
So what do you
looking.
think, Don?
Street?
Illegal activity in
Because
Venice.
it's illegal to drink on the street.
Yeah.
No, you can't even drink on your front porch.
Well, let's hope not.
Remember the famous line from, what is that famous film? Oh, the French film is so famous. And I love my favorite line in it. Paris is too small for those who love as you and I. And, oh, come on. Almost.
You're tickling it around a lot.
Oh, it's not even. It's in there.
Let's try another one. Truly.
Expression.
Emily
Expression.
is our great painter.
Right on.
Where's your champagne? Now, drink it all.
Right here. No? Oh no.
Notre santé et de grande art.
Really?
Yes, I didn't know. Which I didn't.
Venice canals.
You don't know.
I know I needed to get something for my camera delivered today, and I wanted to tell them, oh, it's at the mural. My address is the mural.
Is that like the war? And I always say, which war? Or even
Yeah,
when people say
Second
the Gulf
World
War, I
War is
go,
the
which Gulf?
They said, well, you know the war.
Oh, the one that happened around 1969 to 1975.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, several Gulf Wars.
Actually, that war is still going because there's still an embargo and kids are still.
You know what amazes me is if you watch these old movies, it's the same problems. Greed, corruption. It's the same problems that we have
Violence,
today.
abuse.
They had then,
cruelty.
except that they seem to
Bigotry.
value human life a little more in the
I don't
movies.
think it's ever
No,
Oh, I
if somebody
pray
was
that
murdered, it
only-
was this terrible event. Now they've got to show you the graphic details,
And there's no terrible in that.
and it's not terrible.
Not at all. Thank you, Rod and Joan, for shooting. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Rod and
Champagne,
Joan.
Emily, and Rod.
And if you want to live in a different world, move to the beach. You know, 50% of the people live within 3 miles of the beach in the United States.
Do they really? Really?
Well, might not 50%, but almost everyone. Anywhere with any sense. People on the near water, they can't put people inland. Anyway.
Well, it's certainly different here. We were very lucky to come to Venice.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's recording.
And restoration in general. Whole resurrection.
If anyone would like some Italian bread with cheese and sun-dried tomatoes,
Ooh.
I have I felt we should have something.
Yeah, well, I meant to bring some.
Coconut olive oil and cheese and sun-dried tomatoes. What's up, Don?
I'm on a diet.
Don.
Fred, I was a baker for 25.
Yeah.
You can take a look.
Yeah. So that's
I wish I could do it that quickly. I put a point in a drawer. It has to stay there about 3 years.
Stop.
sometimes you don't have a choice.
Well, sometimes a couple weeks, but about 3 years later, I can figure out. Well, they always become embarrassments.
History.
To your health, to great art.
Thank you.
Of all sorts. Martial arts, visual arts.
I said, oh, John,
Yeah.
I have to get my
Thank
battery.
you.
He said, oh, no, I already put it back in your case. You already brought it over here. Put it back in the mic.
Yeah, he doesn't make a, he's not conspicuous. He just goes ahead and does all his work. He's quite wonderful.
He gets it done, doesn't he?
Yes,
A lot of harassment.
no kidding.
But with Don there and Gregory inside, we were pretty well left alone. We only had a couple of obnoxious people. And plus we're older.
Thank
They're
God.
not as stupid as they used to be.
And I'm not in my bathing suit.
Before you were in your bathing suit when you were painting?
Well,
It was the summer of the Sahara.
Here you go.
Oh, John!
That's the first casting. Okay.
Thank you. Fabulous. Look, he's making these. He's been making molds. He's been sculpting the wax forever. And these are magnets that go on fridges and stuff like that. And it has about 12 different designs.
All
Right?
different. All Venice.
And I've ordered 6 of the roller skaters because my son was an Olympic world-class artistic skater. He coaches gymnastics now. But
Let me go get
so
it. Oh, that is nice.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, they're really wonderful for magnets. So I've ordered 6.
should probably do a couple of coats before I leave today, just that area. So if anybody tries to deface it, it should be pretty well protected.
Okay.
I mean, if it isn't, then I got all the colors. Work on it. But they have to wait a week, and then they're going to come. I'll call them, tell them I'm not going to finish really till Monday, and Tuesday I'm going to come and maybe take pictures Tuesday morning because it's street clean. There won't be any cars. And the guy from Spark will come and take the scaffold. Because I did another mural in the park, which is front walk in the park, and a tagger paint out all the names. And I've been meaning to go over there. So I thought, well, I got all these paints out and I've got the scaffolding together. Might as well go take care of it. And I have this guy to help me. So that'll be good. So we'll come liberate your parking strip. And I left a message with Sydney about having dedication for your parking lot.
Yeah. That's in
March 22nd, but that's the
22nd,
date we chose. I don't know if
That's gonna
they're,
work out for me. I can work around that date.
and Judith will be in town. Good. But that's why we chose that date. But they may have something else going on.
hope that works out because I did a good time. I have a karate exam at the same time. And celebrate. Have a real party.
So what time is your karate exam?
Oh, I can kind of schedule it at any time, but 1-ish.
So what time should we schedule the 3-ish?
That's good.
About
That's
4.
good. No, 3-ish is even better. Earlier is better.
Yeah, because a lot of people will walk. Because there's no place to park.
Yeah, I think 3 is better.
Yeah. Especially on a weekend at
Still
the
have
day.
some sunlight.
3 is better. So if we have it 3 to 5,
What happens if it's raining?
It's not going to rain.
It's not going to rain.
It's not going to rain. You have to understand.
You have to come
there's
inside the
things that
studio.
happen.
Come inside.
You can't help.
this is my arty handwriting. My real handwriting is anal retentive.
This is the champagne handwriting.
The inspiration of art, I love it.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's good. He's peering over the...
I looked at this the other day. Who could have imagined? Well, I'll tell you something. My family has longevity. I might be crawling on that.
Yeah, my father, he made it to 87.
Not bad, especially for a man.
Well, I tell you, I know. But I tell you, when I walked around that corner in 1974 and seen that property for sale, I said, it's mine. That's really.
That's
Weren't
nice.
you a baker then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hostess Twinkies.
Right on.
Are you the one that did that mayor of San Francisco in?
No.
You must have put
I
something
was
in
working
that
there,
Twinkie.
though. I was working there, though. Can you believe that? Yes, Sally.
Oh dear, oh dear.
What'd you say?
Oh, see. That's what she had to say.
That's Sally.
What an apropos name. Oh dear, everybody's
Yeah,
here.
really.
I can't smile because I have food in my teeth.
Right, me too. We're trying not to smile. Because it's close up. They're both 32. They'll be 33 this year.
Jenny's already here.
Oh God, is she?
And Cammie's
That's right.
Cammie's
That's right.
coming. She's 30.
That's right.
Not going to even be that old.
Herein and Molly can't make it.
Thank God
Almost
for
the first
longevity, huh?
My
Aaron's
daughters
going
would
down
like
the
to meet some young men and have a family. And they can't meet anybody. Just,
Well, they could
run this on some
Rod
sort of
is a
dating
second
channel.
family.
They should make a lot of money and go to a third world country and live.
and get a houseboy.
Humor.
Now, this woman and I had a long discussion about having houseboys.
Yeah.
And when they get boring, you get rid of them and get a new one.
Reflections in a golden eye.
Go to
That's called the perfect. That's called the perfect world.
In an ideal world, as they say.
one of his children.
Yeah.
And he got so bored with the conversation that he divorced her.
He divorced.
And married somebody near his own age.
His own age he could relate to, huh?
Yeah.
No, the shared reality of the past is very important.
Yeah, especially if
Sure.
you've been a parent or whatever.
And as Emily said in the documentary that Rod shot, although it wasn't our first meeting, but it was our first political meeting, was held at her house.
Yeah, it's the first
The
time I met Mary
foundation
Jane.
of the Peace and Freedom Party of the group. And my son painted her walls.
He drew, he sang
Just
down
like we're doing now again.
paper and crayons that he drew all over the wall. But that was all right. I
Emily.
had kids.
He was free.
Thank God.
That's where I met Mary Jane. And of course, everyone declares that their house was the first house with the first Peace and Freedom movie. First Peace and Freedom
Party
meeting.
But
Yeah.
John was really the beginning of it, but Emily's was the first group. Emily
Mine was the
group.
first group in Venice. The Peace and Freedom Party was really in existence up north of there.
Right. But the Venice founders were down here. John Haig was the major person.
He chose my living room because I had the biggest living room at the time. Because there was nothing in it.
Right, because we all lived in such postage
Nobody had any
stamps.
money.
And we still don't.
What's money?
No income.
What's money?
Oh, well, it pays rent here.
Buys the champagne and the bread.
Right, champagne and bread.
What else is in
And the travel for all the children.
there?
That's what he buys. Okay, we better get back to painting. And we have to varnish that soon. You have the varnish yet?
Not just yet. We've got time. We're just going to paint out while we're here.
Good. I will try.
Do you need to park?
No, I wanted to sign it.
Oh, great. Let me pull out the petition.
I think it's beautiful. I almost had an accident, actually.
Oh, no.
Let me give you the phone number for anybody who wants to call.
I will.
Let me draw that first. They have to leave a name.
What you're doing.
Well, thank you so much. Well, we did it in 74 and 75,
I
and we're doing it now.
I saw. Oh, really? The same group?
The same people.
You
We're
guys
the
are-
same women, yes, grandmothers, you know? Uncensored.
Well, it's lovely.
Look at this.
6.5 inches thick.
Venice Marina Women's Chamber of Commerce. And nobody knew how many members. 3 members. And they didn't advertise their meetings. Yeah, you mean
Well, so is that.
you can't let anybody in yet. The class is still
Usual has fucked up everything, and they're not here. She's just walked in. The PA incarnate, because I've been telling people the whole, since yesterday when I lost it. Lost it. Emily and I have worked, as we always, and you too,
Well,
all our lives. We have to be very quiet here today, because Master Gregory's giving his karate test today.
Jeffrey? We can introduce you to John Curtis because he doesn't know who you are.
Robert, what do you want first?
Look at this man, he's taking a picture. I was like, going through my picture's kind of a silly picture with Michael. And they don't remember him but 8 or 9. You know? I know.
75. Oh, what's this?
with water.
Everything, including
Is it here?
I was saying
Yeah, I think it's
Same thing?
Yeah.
It's good.
Because I don't like this shit. Do you like
Sydney said, Sarah said, Sydney should. You like
it? We got programs. I just wish that family and I were close to all the world. The city doesn't do anything. Oh, go away. Can I give you this to shoot later?
Especially thrilled to be here today to help dedicate this mural to and celebrate it with the members of the Venice Canal community. I would also like to add that this is the first of a number of projects under Sparks Neighborhood Pride Program Phase 2 that we will promote.
Yay!
Been scheduled to be like number 8 or 10th after all the city officials and Spark officials. You can't hear me at all. Is this thing working? Listen, my friend. Can't you hear it coming down the street with the children strumming, humming and humming? Sisters of joy, sisters of sorrow, we're all working toward a new tomorrow, and there's going to be a song of living. Venice women have two sides. One is low and one is high. I see that we have been raped and robbed, Chamber of Commerce mobbed. We have been police stated and metro squatted, city hall slighted and ghetto blighted, redlined in our nest. There's never any rest. Spent years on college degrees that never helped you or me. Single mothers all over the place, trying to keep some food on the plates. We have been code tax and rent evicted, bulldozed down, and taxman acts trying to been code tax and rent evicted, bulldozed down, and taxman axed. But the women here have learned a few things, how to give and share and sing, painting their lives with all colored hues, choosing and supporting new views. Our gift to humanity may very well be a synthesis of art, nature and technology, but the changes in society that we see include an integrated community. There's a membership of soul grooming that follows Venice women wherever they're moving. Listen, my friend, can't you hear it coming down the street with the children strumming, humming and humming? Sisters of joy, sisters of sorrow, we're all working toward a new tomorrow, and there's going to be a song of living from the Venice women. That's it.
Well, I actually think that was a wonderful way to start this rededication. I don't know about you. At this time,
I'd like to add my welcome today to everyone who is here, and I'm very happy to say that this is the first of these restorations in my own neighborhood. And so it's a joy. For 20 years I've been driving this Canal Avenue and waiting for this mural to re-emerge. And we owe a debt of gratitude not only to the City of Los Angeles for the funds and Emily for reassembling her wonderful team, but also to the owner of this studio, who was the first owner that allowed us to put paint to the wall again. Please note as you travel the streets of Los Angeles that some of our older murals are reappearing on the walls, and this is due largely
I love these. It's true, you can't tell when you have this thing in front of you whether it's working or not. I love these events because these are the kinds of events where I get to see almost everybody I've ever known in Venice. And it reminds me how long ago it was that I came here. I think it was the first week that I arrived in Southern California that somebody took me to a clandestine meeting at a house in the Venice canals. And I, of course, had no idea where I was, but I do remember the canals. And I remember, as I'm sure most of you do, a number of canal festivals in which the sidewalks fell in, and so did some of the people. And many of the people who do that are our own residents. I would like, I do it every chance I get, that one of the things that makes us a great city is that I think we have the best public art program anywhere in the country, and part of the reason that it is the best is because we have organizations like Spark all at once. All right, we're going to start with Emily Winters. Now, start at the front here. She's not only a great artist and a wonderful friend, and the only person I ever met who's made a living painting billboards. He's also a folk dancer and a local resident, and somebody who hung in there through all the struggles, even to coming around and doing them all over again. So, Em, this is for you. Now, the next one we have is for Mary Jane. And Mary Jane, I have to offer this to you with an apology, because I know that Mary Jane is all one word, but the graphics people didn't.
Well, the majority of the world doesn't.
I know, but you know, that's how you tell who's real and who isn't. So if you would like that fixed, I will take it back and get it fixed.
Please, I accept all forms.
I'm glad to hear it.
I'm going to give you a gift of 12 points of issues of environmental concern here, since I have never, in my years of support of you, been able to get an answer to any phone call or any written communique whatsoever.
Well, it's a pleasure to see. It's a pleasure to see you here today too. And frankly, I don't believe that for a minute. Okay, Judith Foster, who is Judith Foster, who is the other person who backed up Emily and made sure this happened again. Carl Foster, are you here?
Carl Foster.
Carl Foster, are you here?
Okay, at this point in time, I'm going to hand the microphone over.
I'm very touched by your support. I hope you can hear me.
Speak up loud.
Speak up louder. How's that? Closer? Closer?
That's it.
Okay. Bear with me. I want to thank you all for your support in coming here today, and all of you who spoke these words of encouragement as you drove by. And even though I didn't stop what I was doing, I did appreciate it, knowing that it was people were appreciating it and not saying, "What are you doing? Get off the wall," or something like that. Before I get started, there are some glaring omissions in the program. Genevieve Cordova and Ellen Haley are manning the tables along with Camille Cordova, and their names were left off.
Here.
Okay, the clipboard is, we'll find the clipboard. There it is. Some kind. I would like to thank Spark and the Los Angeles Cultural Affairs Department for providing the funding for this project. Otherwise, it would not have taken place. So while you're all here, I can just say it once. I was paid $1,300 to do this restoration, and I was given the paint, all the paint I needed, and the scaffolding. And I had one paid assistant, Brady Tufel, who did all the hard, difficult work for me. And then the rest were all volunteers. And let me tell you, Judith Foster, Mary Jane, and Don Unzicker gave their lives every day for free, and I think they deserve a big round of applause. Sorry. I want to know how many jobs. Can I go see the mail on, or another one in the back? Great. Okay, now we get the program tells you pretty much the history. I tried to write it with a little humor. But I did want to say that the Venice community, when we lived there 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, was a remarkable exchange between friends and neighbors. The profiteers, in the name of progress and property rights, because they might mess up the property. There's an African saying that is popular today: it takes a whole village to raise a child. To our children with drugs, guns, and gangs is a result of our villageless culture. Black man is a combination of, I think it was Paul Roberts and Skates. And the woman planting the seeds is a combination of Judith Foster and Aroni Premel, who is now deceased. The children were the local children, my children and my friends' children. The carpenter building the People's Park that we built is a combination of Rome Ronconi, who's now deceased, and Abe Osheroff. We had the Royal Barge. There was this old Indian man who used to clean up the canals all the time, and he was quite a fixture. There's a person that is falling off the bridge, as Ruth referred to. There's always somebody falling into the bridge. Well, I had heard that I did make this one little addition. I heard that the developer who painted out the mural in '81 was building a building someplace in Texas, and he got electrocuted. So I put this bolt of lightning on this guy falling off the bridge.
Yay! Well, I think this is the first time we ever had a gathering like this in Venice where we had chairs. I mean, we sat on the ground, chairs. Anyway, I'm wearing a t-shirt here, and it says, Venice, the last resort. When I first came to Venice, the last resort meant something a little different. If you had been kicked out of every place else or squeezed out of every place else, you came to Venice because it was like the last resort, and the canals were the last of the last resorts. So when I came, I was actually able to live on Oceanfront Walk when I first came to Venice. Nobody wanted to live in Venice. So I could rent right on Oceanfront Walk for $165 a month. A very beautiful apartment, utilities included. Soon got caught in the pincher between the marina and Santa Monica, and the squeeze was on in Venice. And unfortunately, I love the hippies, they're the most wonderful people, but they couldn't keep their mouths shut. They wanted to turn on the world, so they turned on the speculators and developers to the Venice canals. As a single mother, when I first came to Venice, I was park. that was over across the street from Allen's Market. There was a bus right at the door. There was a school right around the corner. And Allen's Market, which at that time was called Shanahan's, was very convenient for a single mother trying to raise a 4-year-old daughter. I was against the cutters of this sapota tree. And then the call came. There was a house here that was going to be bulldozed down. So in the mural, I am the person almost out of it, resisting. You can see my back. I'm wearing a purple t-shirt, and I have a weird little hat on my head. And I want to tell you the story for this hat. It employs the use of a rather sensitive word, but I am not I'm not very good at revising history, so I'm going to tell you this exactly the way it happened. In the process of this resisting, one of my neighbors, a wonderful black man named Bob Harris, who's not here today, who was able to live here in those days and raise his children in a safe environment, came along and he said, Mama Lou, there's a thing on a boat, and it's the hardest thing that there is on a boat. It's called a niggerhead. And he said, I already got one of those, so I think you should take this. And he took his hard hat off his head and put it on mine. So when we got arrested, Steve Clare over there and I, we were handcuffed together. And I thought, well, that's cool, liberation. Now we have co-ed handcuffing. Okay, we get down to the jail, waiting to be booked, and I could hear the cops talking in the next room about the little guy in the hard hat. So when you look at the mural, I'm the little guy in the hard hat. Anyway, it's really, really good that we still have something to inspire a generation who maybe will get up and do a little resisting themselves.
But it's kind of interesting. I was driving by, I don't know when you started the restoration. It was December, and I saw that the restoration going on. And see, my aunt and uncle have always been in that mural. They've been in that little window, waving. And when I found that out, I said, "Oh, that's kind of neat. I've got some a little celebrity in my family now." But now it's really even more special to me because, see, my uncle passed away about 5 or 6 years ago, and my Aunt Ann, who I've been taking care of for the last 3 years, has now been in the hospital, and she really doesn't have that long to live. And I just got done visiting her, actually within a couple hours ago, and I didn't even know this was going on, and I was feeling kind of down, and I like to drive over the canals back home. I live over there in Brooks and Pacific, which is another building that she has with another mural, if you guys know that mural there. But that was actually a Gatorade commercial way back when. But I drove by and I went shopping and I drove by and I saw this crowd and I said, gee, I wonder what's going on. And sure enough, it was like, I guess it was something from the heavens that brought me here. But it's good to know that she's going to be here in spirit, and he'll always be there in spirit. And I just want to say that it's a real special thing for me to have that mural here. And from my heart to you, thank you very much. Thanks for
Before the city allowed the Canal Festival, and before the Canal Festival was turned into a vendor's paradise, the Canal Festival was originally started as a kind of, hey, you're shoving us out of the canals, we're going to show you what kind of people you're shoving out of the canals. And it was a really rare community. It was a community within a community, a little insular sometimes, a little provincial if possible, in the provincial area of Venice. I lived on the oceanfront walk, or around the oceanfront walk. This was a political thing too. because that was city-owned lot. Nothing was being done on it. The only thing it became was this kind of receptacle for broken wine bottles, and rumor had it the bodies of narcs. Abe Osherhoff and the Carpenters Collective, whose names I forget because, yes indeed, I have short-term memory loss. They came by and they really went ahead and took telephone poles under false pretenses and made a wonderful, inventive children's park. And then, it was like the melodrama of melodramas. We kind of checked who had to go to work the next day. Those who didn't have to go to work the next day got to be busted. So I sat there and we got arrested for it. It was on television. It was very melodramatic. And when I'm visiting friends in the canals, I always used to like to stop and sit right there and watch the ducks. I never fed them anything wrong, honest guys. And the canals, the sidewalks that were falling in, well, those ducks, they had a ball. They had the Melampus snail, they had pickleweed, they had all kinds of duck goodies that, to eat. But now that everything is nice and sweet, I guess we have to have Laufelstein and Hammerflex. The big battle of the Hammerflex and the Laufelstein. That's another thing about the canals. We get passionate about the weirdest stuff. Slow but straight! Slow but straight! I remember that. And I remember also a wonderful rumor. There were people who were killing the ducks because people saw these duck legs floating around. Well, it turned out to be that there was this Thai restaurant, and they threw out the ducks. They weren't killing the ducks in the canal, but I loved it. And this is what I liked about it, because in the oceanfront walk, the insanity is kind of stretched and diffuse. But somehow in the canals, because it's a little container, it's concentrated and very heady. You take a deep breath and you go crazy. All of a sudden it's slope or straight, and you're out there with your lances, And so as an outlander, I find it fascinating. But I look at that tot lot, and I think, well, we really fought. We really fought to get a place for kids to be able to play. And now I understand that they're going to have a gate to lock out undesirables like myself, who have no interest in lecherous thoughts of little children. They only want to sit down and smoke a cigarette in the open air without the cigarette police coming along and telling them. But now I know I am also an addict. It's official. Liggett and Myers has said it. And listen, I hope that the canals, I hope that people here in the canals realize that if it weren't for people like Mary Lou, like Mary Jane, and like Emily, you wouldn't even have the little bit of uniqueness that is still left. And the next time you see somebody who doesn't look all so desirable or doesn't fit in so much, just think, if it weren't for them, you might not afford to live here, be able to afford to live here either.
Emily will introduce this song just okay. Mange. Thank you.
Well, it's coming out soon.
Yeah, but that's
Yep. Hi. I'm really busy. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Much better. It's just something you can do. How do you think
Give that to someone today. That's right. She's in where I live. Yeah. Back to me. I got the last thing in the world I
And I know people can remind my bus station.
Look here. A slug. A slug, look. Yeah, we killed him.
Okay, I'm not in the chamber of commerce. That's it. Doesn't matter. You know, lots of people. Well, he's over there. So, GI Green.
Green, then it's like Los Angeles City Hall. Yeah, that too.
Anyway, I enjoyed your song.
Thank you.
I may need it. I'm okay right now until about the beginning of September, mid-September.
Yes, keep in touch. Okay. Take vitamins.
I didn't know there were really cans.
We thought that was.
I don't know which one's Steve.
Who's looking out the window?
Yeah, great idea.
That guy that talked said it was his auntie.
Let's go. Where's the window? Way down the other end?
I think it's
Well, ask Suzanne, maybe she knows. God, look at the water here.
MJ. Mary Jane.
Yes, absolutely. Connie's house. From 75. That's right.
We'll all be good.
That's right.
And you straighten them out.
Also, the senior lifeguards, because I swim in the ocean every day, made sure that they named it one of their dories B13. And it goes out in the ocean every day.
Really? Well, he just wanted to apologize for his ancestors.
Hey, you know what? We had this guy pull up and say, I was one of the guys that painted it out. You gonna paint out my car? I said, I don't paint cars.
It is 800,000 Mercedes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's very nice.
All right, we're gonna run off.
Good
so
for
it was
you.
very good to see you, and thank you so much.
Oh, very good to see you, Carl. Thank you for
Have fun tonight.
Well,
You're leaving too?
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll see you.
Emily, I want to get a picture of you in front of your mural. Have you got that about 10 minutes? First, I didn't get the whole of Stop the Pig.
That's R. And Karen.
And I don't think the smallest one.
Yeah. That's supposed to be W and Cammy. And that's supposed to be Jenny hanging by her knees. I don't remember. Nikki and Eric are fishing. They used to, you know, like string and bread, and they try to get the little smelt in the canal. But I honestly.
And that's when he started telling me about this guy because he knew that I was interested. Oh yeah, and Big Ray.
Yeah.
Big Ray is the most aggressive, and that's the one he even has a name for.
So I guess Judith had reminded me of what we don't remember. Mary Jane and I are going to go through.
And I went
trying to figure out who everybody
Yeah, that'd be good.
Label everybody.
As I said, you couldn't get everybody, so we did composites.
Absolutely.